Hey guys, and welcome back to the Unfiltered Gamer Kickstarter card game review. Today's game up on the tabletop is called Precare by Lazy Wolf Games. Precare is for 2 to 6 players, ages 8 and up, and takes about 10 to 25 minutes to play. In the game, you're going to be playing as a park ranger, and unfortunately all the predators have escaped and gone loose, and now they're after all these poor, defenseless little kitties and pandas and doggies and all that. And your job is to try and round them up and protect the prey that is that's getting chased around, right? And how you're going to do that is by pairing up the like cards. You're going to have a 2x5 grid in which you're going to be trying to flip over cards and draw cards from the deck and replace them to match up all of the cards you can. Your job is to get the lowest score in the game, so you want 0. That's the best way to do it. But you're going to need to pair up cards to do so. When you pair up 2 cards, no matter what their numbers, it equals 0 at the end. Now, if you don't pair up cards and somebody else turns over all of the cards in front of them, the game's going to be over. You're going to add up all the points that you have that aren't matching, and then whoever has the least amount of points is the winner. A basic, simple little game. Let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so here is Precare. What you're going to be getting is a box, a set of rules, and a deck of cards. When you start the game off, you're going to, depending on how many players there are, you're going to make a 2x5 grid. You're going to want 2 columns, 2 rows and 5 columns of cards. Every player is going to get one of these, and then after that, everyone's going to flip over 2 cards. They just cannot be in the same column here. So you can't turn over these 2 guys, but you can turn over any other combination of cards as long as they're not matching, right? Because you're trying to get matching pairs with these guys here. So now the other player is going to do the same, just like that. Perfect. Now on the cards, you're going to see something. You're going to see the number, the value of the card, as well as the ability that happens when you match the like cards. If at the end of the game, this guy is not matched with this guy, he's going to be totaled up to your total point total, and it's going to cost you a lot of points for this guy. Some of them are cheaper than others. But that is basically how you set the game up. Also, you're going to have a discard pile right here, and your deck of cards or whatever is remaining over here. On your turn, it's pretty simple. You can either draw a card from the deck and play it, replacing one of your other cards, sending that card to the discard pile, or you can draw the card from the deck, and let's say you don't like the card, like if you see this one here, you don't really like it, you can discard it to the discard pile, or finally, you can take a card from the discard pile and replace it with one of the cards you have. Any of those 3 options is viable. If you make a match, you're going to do the ability, or have your opponent do the ability, depending on what the card says. They all range from different things. This one says switch 2 card positions from your opponent's field, which would be something like this. You could switch any 2 cards you want. After you make one of those 3 actions, you move on to your opponent, and your opponent's going to get to do one of them. He'll maybe draw a card from the top of the deck. He'll look at it. Does he have a match? He doesn't. He can replace a card. Putting this one over here. And it will be then your turn again. You'll draw a card. This one's pretty expensive. It's a 9, so we probably don't have a match for it. We'll probably just discard it. You're also going to want to look at your opponent's side of the field. Do they have a match for that card? And if they don't have a match, then you can actually discard it as well. It's not going to be a big deal. Hopefully, at least. Okay, another little fishy here. We'll just discard this one here. Oh, the panda bear got loose, and he needs panda, so he's going to take one from the discard pile. When he does that, you'll see these 12s. They're going to be negated to 0, provided at the end of the game, these cards are still matching. Also, 5 points will be deducted from your final score as long as these guys stay like that at the end of the game. So that's really good. They're both 0 and -5 as a pair. So then your opponent's going to get to go, and they don't need the kitty. Maybe they'll draw this. Perfect. They got a little salamander. Switch 2 card positions from your field. So, from different columns. We'll go ahead and switch these guys, I guess. I mean, realistically, there's nothing else I'd want to switch right now. But the game would continue until all of the cards on the field have been replaced or moved, until they are all flipped over like that. Whatever player does it first. So let's say the game looks like this at the end. This player has successfully, maybe he replaced this card with this card here. That would end the game right here because they're all face up. Any of the cards remaining face down, we get flipped over just like this. And then you're going to tally the score based on matching pairs. This is not a pair. It's only down in columns, not rows. So these 2 would count as 0 and -5. You would then add up all the points here. 0 and 2, so 6, 16, 23, I'm 48, whatever. It's a 50-something points. And you total up all of these wouldn't count. And whoever had the most points would be the loser. Whoever had the least points is going to be the winner. In a bigger player game, it's obviously just whoever has the least points. But that's the basic idea of how you play the game. Precare. Okay, so you've seen the game and how it's played. Fairly simple, right? You got 2 rows and 5 columns. You start off by flipping them over, just not in the same column, and you're trying to get matching pairs. If you can get the most matching pairs, you're probably going to win because your points are going to be 0. If you don't match them, you're going to have to add up whatever point quantity there is, and sometimes that's okay because you're going to get cards like the wolf here, which is for 0. Now, you don't want to put 2 wolves together because that's going to give you plus 10 points, but a wolf and maybe something along the lines of a little puppy dog here is only going to be worth 2 points for a column, which is pretty good. You'll also notice that the cards that are worth less are going to have less good abilities. So like for this puppy dog, you match 2 puppies and it's going to skip your next turn. So that might not be a good idea. Playing 2 puppies together. It might be better to just keep the points. Who knows? This little seal here, switching 2 card positions from any opponent's field, is really, really powerful. So the higher the card value, the more likely you're going to be able to help yourself or hurt your opponent in a better way. Now, realize too, though, that your opponent can actually make you move things around. So if you do have a pair of these little guys, they can move back and forth, and it could end up screwing you over, unfortunately. But it's a very simple, basic game. You're going to be just playing up to 6 players and going back and forth until somebody completely turns over all their cards and tally the points. I really enjoyed this game. It reminds me of Take the Gold. The same kind of similar game. It's made for younger audience. It says 8 and up, and I actually do believe it's made for that. I don't think it's going to be a huge like gamer game or anything like that because it's so very simplistic. But the art is very, very nice. The gameplay is smooth and simple. You can be able to teach youngins real quick, real easy. It's a good gateway game for children as well as a good little family game. If you're interested in Playcare, I do recommend it, especially for those of you with little kids, young ones. Although do realize that the art is a little bit scary, I guess. You got the predators are looking at the prey like they're gonna eat them. You got little panda bears running from the tigers, and then there's a shark get the doggy. So maybe be aware for your children's sake if that's something you don't want them to be checking out. It is cartoony and stuff like that, but nevertheless, there are certain people who probably wouldn't like that. Overall, though, Precare, good game. I recommend it.